Lloyd Whitey Moore. The late Lloyd Whitey Moore is a native of Tuscarawas. Signed with the Cincinnati Reds in 1934. Made his major league debut in 1936. In 1939, Whitey won 13 games, leading the Reds to their first pennant in 20 years. He pitched 3 perfect innings in Game 3 of the 1939 World Series versus the New York Yankees. Pitched in the 1940 World Series versus Detroit, helping lead the Reds to a world championship. Retired at the age of 35 after serving 4 years in the United States Army. Accepting the honor on behalf of the late Lloyd Whitey Moore is his niece, Amy Stanley. Please welcome into the Tuscarawas County Sports Hall of Fame, Lloyd Whitey Moore.
Good evening, everybody. My God, there's a lot of people in here. Jeez, I didn't realize that. He was actually my great uncle, and he would have been humbled to receive this induction. I was 28 when he passed in 1987, but have fond memories of him wanting to play pitch and catch with me. He would show up at my grandparents' house, his brother Lester's house, in his work clothes, and he'd say, "Go get your glove." And I'd say, "Okay." He was going to teach me how to throw a curveball and a fastball, which he was known for. He always referred to me as Joe Pepitone. And he was a player, I think, with the Yankees and the Braves. I don't know. Was it the Yankees? I'm not really sure why. I think it was because I had a pretty strong arm, and that's what I'm going with. Or Joe, I guess, was notorious for getting into trouble. I found that out when I Googled him. So Whitey worked on the railroad and played independent ball in the area. His talents brought attention, and eventually he signed with the Cincinnati Reds in 1934. He played on several Class D teams, and if you read your program, you'll probably know most of what I'm about to repeat. He started in 1936 with the El Dorado Lions of the Cotton States League, going 20-5 with an ERA of 2.33. He then went to the Macon Peaches of the South Atlantic League, going 2-2 before being called up by the Reds. On September 27th, he made his debut in the majors, playing against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Crosley Field. He entered the 3rd inning in relief of D. Moore. In 5 innings of work, he allowed 3 runs on 3 hits while having 4 strikeouts and 3 walks. Although the Reds won the game 6-5, that gave him his first career win. He contributed 13 victories to the Cincinnati Reds' 1939 pennant, the most victories ever recorded in the season. He had a reputation of having a good fastball. When Cincinnati went to the World Series against the New York Yankees, he pitched 3 perfect innings in relief in Game 3. During his 7-year career, he had an ERA of 3.75 with a record of 30 wins and 29 losses. He recorded 228 strikeouts and started in 60 games. And like your program says, he enlisted in the Army in Akron in 1943. He was inducted as a private, serving as a combat engineer till 1946. He attempted a brief comeback with the farm team of the St. Louis Cardinals, the Rochester Red Wings also. He went 2-7 before deciding to retire. He returned here to Tuscarawas County to work as an assembler for the Warner Swayze Company. He worked there until 1977 and died on December 10, 1987 in the Beacon Point Rest Home in Uricksville. He is buried with his wife Frances at the Union Cemetery. I guess back then, what would have been considered crazy, he took off in his car, drove wherever he could play, showcase his talents, was a huge risk that eventually paid off. I can't imagine the stories he could have told. I was talking to Dave DiDonato, who's sitting at our table, and he's got a bunch of stories. But he was a young man out on his own, living out of a car wherever he could find free room and board. That's what he did. Thank you to the Tuscarawas County Sports Hall of Fame. Tom Farbizo, Mike Gunther, thank you for this honor and induction. I'm sure he's up there watching and beaming with pride that he is being recognized and inducted to the Hall of Fame in a county that meant so much to him. Thank you.